Welcome to Have Movies Will Game, the only podcast on the globe where we take you, our friendly listener, through the best and worst movies of yesterday and today, and then discuss ways that you can play them at your gaming table. But the fun doesn't stop there, no siree. Every few episodes, our intrepid hosts Matthew, Dusty, and Nathanael will ask you, the listener, to vote on which movie they will play as an RPG, recorded in video and in glorious black and white, and brought to you through the electronic wonder of the internet. Now, let's start the show!
Are we recording?
Yeah.
We're recording.
It is 2-3 days after Christmas.
Yeah.
We're all worn.
Tired.
We've seen too much family, too much friends.
Yeah.
Our wallets are thin. Our eyes are glazed. I just had a shot of god-awful Monopoloa at room temperature.
I haven't eaten
fantastic.
since like 9 a.m.
Why?
Busy at work.
I've eaten too much.
They make these things in little wrappers called energy bars or power bars or yeah. You can put a whole bunch of them in your backpack.
Actually, oddly enough, on my Weight Watchers, those things are like 10 or 12 points per. I can eat a larger candy bar for less points than an energy bar.
What about
the system is broken. The center cannot hold.
Yeah, like a Snickers is 6 points, and a Cliff Bar is like 12.
Terrible. Check Quest. See if the Quest have better points. They tend
Or just
to be,
get a granola bar.
Yeah.
Oh, even those are 8 points.
Okay, so what does that tell you about your system?
It's down.
The system is down. Anyway, so we have a movie this week. I'm just going to go ahead and swing into this.
Who are you?
I do not. I'm the man with no name.
I think we've kind of gone backwards on some of the intros as of late. Like
Man,
they're
fuck
not
the
doing
backwards.
them or. Doing
By
them
the
at
way,
very
there's
end.
spoilers.
Yeah, very many spoilers.
I am Matthew.
And I am Dusty.
No, get your own bit, man. That's what I just
And I'm
did.
Nathanael. We're going to come here and we're going to cook some meal. Wait, I'm sorry.
That sounded like Macho Man Randy Savage.
Yeah.
Now I want to Slim
I
Jim.
got you for 2 minutes.
Oh my God! Snap into a Slim Jim.
All right, let's do this again. Hi, I'm Matthew.
And I'm Dusty.
And I'm Nathanael.
And we're doing Ocean's 11 today, the
That's-
2001 classic.
Yeah, doing Ocean's 11.
You trying to make a sex joke there?
It just the 13-year-old in my head.
I mean, because there's like 6 guys in this movie. I'd put it in. I mean, I would. Whatever. I would.
No,
I
Carl
would.
Reiner's pretty hot there.
I,
Isn't he?
I wouldn't. I wouldn't catch, but I'd pitch.
You'd go.
I'd pitch.
That blue steel gaze of Andy Garcia is.
He's
Oh, man.
reptilian in this
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah.
Right up until that final breaking point where he yells at the end, he's very calm. Get me him on the phone. Deal with this. No. Yes.
And
I'm
even
putting.
when the elevator doors
yeah.
close, it's that stair, which apparently that whole sequence from him walking to the elevator and then turning around and showing it in the door closed, that was 2 weeks.
Oh, and that's another Benedict?
Wow.
That's another
I knew
Benedict.
you would bring that up
Yep.
because I was just thinking that. Yeah, Benedict.
It's
Another Benedict.
collective subconscious thing. Benedict villain. Benedict villain.
It's America for you.
Yeah. So with him,
Lost, for sure.
you should really listen to what we put out.
I know I should. I mean, I do all the time, and I'm just
For him,
I'm
I
overwhelmed.
have a weird one. I'm going to go with lawful neutral. on him.
Oh, we're going that fast into this.
Yeah.
We're
Wow.
scatterbrained today, folks.
It's all right. Just
Sorry.
deal with it. Don't worry about it. It's happening.
Wow, we're not even going to get into like any kind of like this is what the movie's about or anything like
Ocean's
that.
11. I think everybody's seen it.
Yeah. I mean, it's
you know,
not like
it's a
some
remake
weird,
of one from the
obscure.
1960s with, you know,
Yeah, we were talking about him.
God, I don't know why I do this with you guys.
Because being alone is painful. I don't know.
Well, wow,
The structure,
that
and then there's chaos.
hurts.
And I'm leaning on the side of chaos right now. I don't.
Yeah, I'm just throwing shit.
Yeah.
If
Well,
it
no,
sticks,
I feel like
if it sticks to the wall, whatever.
I
if it
feel like
doesn't,
more. I am a malleable miasma right now.
Are you a meat
But the
popsicle?
chaos that Matthew was bringing is sort of overwhelming me and drawing me in. So Matthew right now is the dark side of the microphone.
I'm.
Wait,
I've
because
made
of
this
where-
very clear.
and because of where I'm positioned, does that make me the neutral point?
You are actually sitting immediately underneath a light that is shining down, covering you with this halo.
Shining bright like a diamond.
So I'm going to say that you today are the light side. Yeah.
All right. So we are doing Ocean's 11.
Oh, are we?
Yes, with George Clooney, Brad Pitt, and a number of others.
I'm just gonna
in
have
this
fun
movie.
with this. I don't
That's
care.
fine.
I'm
So
tired.
am I. So am I. So if you don't know the general plot, you should probably go and watch it. But very brief cursory overview: Danny Ocean violates his parole by traveling to California to set up a heist. This is a heist movie that I
This
just
is
love.
competence porn movie.
Yeah, this
This
is
is a
one of
super
yours.
competence
This is one of
porn.
mine.
Yeah.
This is one of my favorite movies ever.
I think it's in the top 10 heist
To
movies.
be fair,
for me.
there was a lot of mistakes they made in this.
There's a lot of continuity errors.
No. I mean mistakes in the heist.
No.
There,
Not actually.
That was a
They made almost no mistakes.
So
every,
octaves.
every mistake
because they can
made,
track them now.
Every mistake that they made, they planned.
Yeah. So they gave him his real name for no apparent reason.
Danny Ocean or Daniel?
Frank.
Now that one was one. I think that was a continuity error.
No. They got his real name. They used that in the movie to get Matt Damon in there.
Yeah, I know. I noticed that.
Yeah.
that was
So
the
if
only
he
one.
suddenly starts spending any kind of money and doesn't live the rest of his natural life in Nicaragua, they're all boned.
It's true.
I mean,
That's it. Like one of the flows of this movie is most of what you, the audience, are introduced to as mistakes.
yeah.
They quickly are
Agreed,
like,
yeah.
oh, by the way, we planned that shit the whole time.
yeah, at the top of the elevator and
Yeah.
whatnot. But I mean, in an actual heist, they got away with it clean and in a good way. But there would be repercussions after this
That's true. And,
because they have
yeah.
a lot of people's real names and
And I think Bertie Mac's the only one who's no longer with us. So
Yeah. Which is too bad.
Yep.
That's one of the reasons, one of the two major reasons why there wasn't a fourth one, because Bernie Mac didn't survive, and George Clooney said he wanted to go out on a high note and not drown this into
milk
the
the
ground.
franchise for every dime.
Yeah.
I
So
really wish they hadn't made any more. I
You
think
can
the
milk
movie
just
by
about
itself-
anything with nipples.
Again, it's my weird thing against sequels, but I think that movie stands alone.
Oh, the Ocean's 11
Yeah.
stands alone.
Yeah,
By
should have
definitely
been its
stands
own.
alone.
Yeah.
12 is not as good. 13 is, it redeems 12 in my opinion.
I just have to say, though, as much as we hate these kind of like sequels and franchises and shit like that, mansions take money, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And if actors are going to be millionaires, they have to have money.
Yeah, just look at Jeremy Irons,
So,
who did
yeah.
Dungeons and Dragons to finance his castle.
Every now and then,
So did Richard O'Brien.
you just have to turn in some work. You're not proud of it. It's just a thing.
Well, everyone on this movie took a huge pay cut so that it could get done. So yeah, it was a good movie in that aspect. So the story goes with that, part of it is that George Clooney had sent Julia Roberts the script and she at that point in time was making $20 million a movie. And he said in a note, "Hey, I hear you're making 20 a movie now," and attached a $20 bill. And that basically is what got her involved. That's how he got that ball rolling. But everyone took a pay cut to do this because it was a big ensemble cast. They all wanted to work with the director, who is one of my favorite directors, Steven Soderbergh. And
Who has done what?
Soderbergh?
Soderbergh.
Soderbergh.
I never.
It's
I
Soderbergh.
can't pronounce it. I hear it different.
You have
ways.
name trouble.
I know I do. Fuck
I have
off.
no stake in that conversation. I have no idea how it's pronounced. I want to say Soder.
Yeah,
Soderbergh.
it's Soderbergh.
Soder.
Okay. So yeah,
Soderbergh?
he
Steve Soderbergh.
With fries.
With fries. Extra large, please.
his first Sex Lies and Videotape. He's done a couple episodes.
I'm sorry, I thought you said his first sex life, and I thought we were going to go into some weird story about
His first sex life on videotape.
Steve
yeah.
Sodomyberg.
I'll have two of those.
You know how I was just saying during
That's like a burger, Sodomy
before
burger?
times that I have
in a white cream
problems.
milkshake.
Oh, is that like a White Castle? I mean,
I'll build you a White Castle.
I bet. Oh,
The turret's really impressive.
it's just fully up there, just mounted.
It's the gammoning over the edges that really give the pleasure.
Can you do this in Minecraft also?
It also keeps the archers at bay.
Hey, man,
Anyway, I'm sorry.
just
What?
make sure those archers ain't shooting blanks.
Sex lies and videotape?
Yeah,
you were
Sex
saying?
Lies and Videotape. I also did a couple episodes.
Oh, by the way, videotape. In the olden days, we used to record things on magnetic tape,
on
film,
big
if you will.
camcorders
Yeah.
that cost like $3,000.
That's what a videotape is, and that's why we old people keep saying that, because it's what we know.
I seriously doubt, Matthew, that any of our listeners...
seriously doubt Matthew, too.
I do, actually. But that being said, I also seriously doubt, Matthew, that the majority of our listeners are not going to... I'm sorry. See, this is where my brain is. I can't even finish a sentence. I think
we're all
most
there
of our
right
listeners are 30s or older. I would be surprised to find any that are not.
He also did Out of Sight, another George Clooney movie that I actually like, where he was a bank robber.
Okay.
Which the only thing I didn't really like about that movie was that it has J-Lo in it, and I'm kind of on that. It would have been better with someone else. Aaron Brockovich, the Ocean's Trilogy, Solaris, The Good German, Contagion was another one of his, and recently Logan Lucky.
I haven't seen
Any of those.
movies.
Really?
Yeah.
That's disappointing. Wow.
I'll be
We're
honest.
sorry, Sodomy Burger.
I'll be honest. Julia Roberts
Mm-hmm.
is the opposite of a selling point for me for any kind of movie.
Really? Why?
So
Because she looks like a mummy.
and
She's a great
but
actress.
She's
Come
wooden.
on.
She's boring. She makes the same facial expressions and everything she does. I
No,
don't think she's a
Julia
good
Andrews
actress.
is a great actress. Julia Roberts is...
Yeah.
Well, Julia
Yeah.
Andrews is a Time Lord.
Well, there's that.
Wait. Julie Andrews, Sound of Music. Is that who you're talking
Yeah,
about?
Mary Poppins.
She's amazing.
Yeah, she's a Time Lord.
Oh, yeah.
That's a great actress.
She uses her face
Okay.
to emote, whereas Julia Roberts does not.
Julia
Yeah, she's
Roberts
a
is
mummy.
our
Mummy.
generation great actress, I think.
She's a mummy.
No.
Yeah.
No, I disagree.
She could have
I
been in the new
disagree
Mummy
with your
as the
disagreement.
Mummy. It would have been amazing.
Yeah, well, you liked Robin Hood, so I don't care what you think.
That one, that version, yes. Okay, I thought you were going to the Russell Crowe one. I was just saying, no, I did
King's
not.
man.
The king's man. They're there in the forest. Fuck's sakes. No, Julia, I mean, she's all right. I think she and Keanu should have gotten together a long time ago, and they could have wooden,
Wow.
passionless, unemotive sex.
I can't think of anything. No. One movie that I like Julia Roberts in.
The
and
Net.
That was Sandra Bullock.
Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to tell them apart.
I
isn't it?
sometimes get them
That was
mixed
also
up.
1995, the year Hollywood went online.
I know, it's a horrible movie.
Steel Magnolias. I actually liked her in that.
Because she has seizures and, like,
No, I think she actually
dies?
did.
Yeah,
She
you
played a
got
good
to see her
character.
face move during this.
What?
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
You are horrible and incorrigible this evening. And they just fist bumped. I mean, Nathanael just reached out this little, like, paw of a fist and, like, boom.
Little. Oh, dude, trust me. Unfortunately,
Yeah, seriously, it takes like 3 months of training to get that in. That's not
Yeah.
a little fist.
About actually 5.
Noted. Now breathe.
And it never happens again because,
Oh,
God.
this is,
Well-
we're so going down the road
You're not
to
done
nowhere.
unless you flick the soul. While you're...
I just
Is that
got
flicking
finished.
the taint, or is that...
No, the
I
taint's on
just
the
got
outside.
finished assembling all of our bonus clips, and fisting was a running theme in a number of our episodes.
Because fisting is funny. You're making a human puppet.
I love you. I love you.
Wanna be my son?
I like you like Muppets like fisting.
Are you coming on to me? What's going on?
I forget.
Tell us more about
There's
this.
no
Dusty.
there's
I'm too tired. This is never gonna
this,
work.
we're not we're done. We're done.
You're right. Defend Sandra Bullock or be destroyed. Wait, no. Right. I can't even remember her.
Julia Roberts.
Yeah, she doesn't matter, dude.
Well, I mean, her part is almost inconsequential in this movie.
but I mean in
This
general,
was
though.
not a movie with strong
No,
female characters.
she filmed her parts in 2 weeks out of the whole production. 2 weeks and she was done.
Yeah, it's not that, but I'm still curious as to why. I mean, she was in movies that were good, but I don't see how she contributed to them.
This is, well, I don't know about contribute. This is one of those movies where, Nathanael, I know you've talked on other episodes about you hating movies that where the female part is more of a damsel in distress, and sometimes we've gone back and forth. I haven't agreed with that.
Generally
Like
don't
with V,
examples.
I
Yeah.
disagreed with that. notion. But I will agree with you in this. She kind of is like a damsel in distress in the sense that she's moved on from Danny and she's with.
Katharine Hepburn is a great actor.
Oh
what are
God,
you talking about?
I will agree with that, but God, you're going fucking. Oh my God.
I don't think she's even personified enough to be considered a damsel in this movie. She has her role.
I wouldn't
might
say
as well
she's in
not
distress.
exist.
Well, I mean, just
no. She seems quite happy. And capable
in the sense of like at the end, it's like, okay, well, go ahead and take me away from this kind of.
And that
quote
seems
end quote
so
fake.
It was a very fast turnaround.
My meal ticket just went away. So
I'm gonna hook up with my
I don't
ex.
think it was my meal ticket. I think it was the realization of like, okay, he cares more for his money than he does for me.
Anyone operating at that level already knows that.
Oh, yeah.
That's what got me at the fake though.
Yeah, I agree with that. When your significant other
buying
can
original art, I'm assembling a gallery, but true love is what matters
Yeah.
to me. It does.
When your significant other can drop several $1 million for a Picasso and not bat an eye, you're not going to get anywhere.
I like
near.
that you like
I
it.
was just about to say that. That was again. That was.
It's like some of the creepiest dialogue I've ever heard. I like that you like it.
And Andy Garcia has this kind of weird accent.
And the weirdest cheekbones ever, like this weird C under each eye.
Well, he's reptilian.
Those are
That's where he breathes.
Sexy cheekbones. Sorry.
Really? You think he's got sexy
Oh
cheekbones?
dear God, Andy Garcia.
Really?
There are very few men in Hollywood that I would say that about. Andy Garcia's on that list of dear God.
I would have never have pegged you for that.
Andy, and then the way he talks, and again,
13-year-old,
like I
yes.
said at the beginning, that fucking blue steel face that he gives just the whole
See,
time.
I would think, I think Brad Pitt is more of an attractive guy.
What was that movie
than-
with the male model and the black lung?
Oh,
wasn't
Zoolander.
Oh, I
wasn't
fucking
that
hate that movie.
Wasn't that Blue Steel?
That was Blue Steel.
God, I
Blue
hate that
Steel.
movie.
That's where that term generally
We're
comes
going to talk
from.
about this movie. I'm just going to leave right now because I hate that movie. I just
So we need to
hate.
do an episode on Blue Steel, man.
Y'all have fun.
is that your
I will
Kevin Costner?
I will tap out. I'm done at that point.
that I'm not even going to go.
He didn't
there.
even get the whole fist in, and you're tapping out already.
Wow, that didn't even take 5 months. But Andy Garcia is.
Let's make sure we rate this one 18 up. When we do the rating.
yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
So,
anyways,
back to Julia Roberts.
The Mummy.
back to even
Back
just
to
the
the
movie
Mummy.
in general. I mean, it's a heist movie. We haven't even gotten to the heist part. I mean, I think it was mentioned 20 minutes ago, but
Everyone knows it.
yeah, it's
The
true.
heist is all right. It's a good movie. There's a couple holes. I thought it was shot incredibly well.
Yeah, that's one of the things I like about the director.
I like that they
Soder, whatever.
Sodomy burger.
Yes,
I
exactly.
like
Sodomy burger.
Oh.
I like that from hitting play.
Mm-hmm.
Within 2 minutes and 30 seconds. This includes all the slates at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
In 2 minutes and 30 seconds, they told the tale of jail. The wife left. He's a criminal. He's released, and then he's in the city.
Yeah,
on
and
location. That is efficient storytelling.
that's one of that director's things that he does. He starts
It's like Guy
right then
Ritchie.
and go.
It snaps, it pops,
Yeah.
it moves.
He's got the audios before visuals.
Yeah.
He focuses on the characters, which is great, and it's a lot of. He skips over all that conventional establishing setup and goes straight for the story. And it's not
Well, he
in
does it.
media
He just
res,
does
it's
it-
just right. You don't have to get any build
Yeah.
up backup.
And at least one thing, and carrying that further, there's so many moments of storytelling in this movie of actual like live on screen storytelling from the perspective that the characters are literally telling stories, but they take it and turn it into something else.
yeah, they could do a whole bunch of dumb jokes. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
like the shot where
Basher?
the other casino owner, the one who was getting revenge on Terry, when they're at his house and he's telling the story of the people who the three people,
yeah.
those,
Yeah.
but they play through it and it was beautiful.
Yeah, and
Well
he
done.
uses
And that-
flashbacks. Great.
Well, there's
Yeah.
a lot going on in every scene, like when Basher's fiddling with electronic equipment as they're getting set up for the heist, and they're dynamiting the building. You could do this long exposition about how he's really into his work and he doesn't really know about the outside world, or you can just have him watching it on TV while out the window behind him, you can actually see the casino being blown up.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
That was a great
Well
shot.
intended.
That was
shot.
great. You know,
Yeah.
that shot was changed at the very last second.
I did not.
Yep, because the original, for the script, originally, they were going to blow up Little New York in Vegas. And this came out right after 9/11. So they're like, yeah, we probably shouldn't do that. Let's change it and make it a whole new casino.
Oh, what do you think Basher is?
Basher?
Chaotic fucking neutral.
Yeah, he's full on chaotic.
Yeah, because I mean,
Wow.
there's like, in fact, I think most of them are
Mm-hmm.
because I mean, they did this, and there's hospitals in Vegas.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, he also went on record saying that he apologized for his accent because he tried to do the Cockney
Brit.
accent.
The
He said
rhyming, yeah.
he went and spent a lot of time in London and talked to people and tried to get it down, and he got slammed for it. And he wanted to cut it out on the next installment, but his agent said no, keep it because you're already invested in it.
yeah.
But it is like apparently it's rated as one of the worst accents in movie history.
Which is
no,
funny
that's
because Don Cheadle's an amazing actor.
yeah.
Oh
that-
yeah, Don Cheadle
that's
was
not
great.
fair. People were just picking on him.
Have you seen
I've heard worse.
Don Cheadle's Captain Planet videos?
Yeah.
No.
Oh my God,
Go on.
Matthew! You of all people, of everyone I know,
Don
you would love this the
Cheadle.
most because Captain Planet just goes mad and starts murdering the world, and Don Cheadle is playing Captain Planet.
I'll watch that. Yeah, there's way worse. And whenever the Brits get snotty about that, ask them to do an American accent. Because, oh man, if you've never heard of Texas from Manhattan, you've never heard of Britain trying to play an American.
Was on some talk show where several of the cast from Downton Abbey was on this talk show, and I want to say Conan O'Brien, and he had them do American accents.
Yeah, I
and they
saw that.
sounded awesome.
Yeah, the guy that plays the lead in The Walking Dead, he's from the UK, and he does a decent American accent.
I mean, even who I do consider a great actor, Benedict Cumberbatch, does not do a good American accent. Like if you've seen Doctor Strange,
yeah,
that was
not really.
That was kind of rough. There's some bad.
Several of the actors on Stranger Things are British or Australian, and they do amazing.
Yeah.
English or
Australian
American
seems
accent.
to make it easier. I think there's more. It's a less formal language. It's a polyglot like we are,
Okay.
as opposed to the king or the queen's English.
Yeah. So
There's
then
a certain looseness to it,
we have George Clooney.
kind of like 5 months of fisting. Oh God, it was there. I took it.
the whole time.
God, that's just. George Clooney plays Danny Ocean.
Who's he? I don't know that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wasn't he on
Could
some
you give
TV
us-
show or
yeah,
Can you
something?
give us some obscure movies he's been in?
He was on
One of my
MASH.
favorite was From Dusk Till Dawn.
Oh yeah.
That is
fun
one of my
movie.
favorite movies
Yeah,
with George
we should
Clooney.
do that movie. That's
And
a really fun movie.
Yeah, I will put that on the list then because.
Dibs on playing Sex Machine.
All right, you can play Sex Machine. That's fine.
Okay.
All
You
right.
just get 5 months to warm up. Sorry.
Again, as I said at the beginning, pitcher, not a catcher.
So, where do you think he would fall on the alignment spectrum? In this
Got it
movie?
good.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
Robin Hood type.
I can see it.
Matt
Yeah.
Damon,
See-
on the other hand, is not.
I-
His
I-
character is not chaotic good.
I looked at it more as. Okay, wait. I'm sorry. What did you say he was?
Matt Damon.
No,
Matt Damon or
Clooney.
chaotic good.
Okay.
Robin Hood type.
Yeah. All
Get
right.
the girls, swing away on a vine. He's
I can see it.
But
yeah.
he's also doing it for himself. I mean, because of Tess.
That's the
yeah. So
chaotic.
does
Yeah.
Robin Hood.
Yeah, I know. That you said chaotic, and I heard lawful for some
He
reason.
took it out
That's
of
why I
King's
was like,
Man.
Yeah.
the King's Man. God, you're never gonna live that
Yeah,
one
what
down.
is it? Russ? Who's
Yeah, Rusty. That's Brad Pitt.
Oh wait, who's
Rusty Shackelford.
Rusty Ryan.
Linus?
Linus. That's Matt Damon.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
Matt Damon.
he might even have an evil alignment because he was stealing from people.
I would agree with that. And apparently Johnny Depp was supposed to play that part
I'm
originally.
glad he did.
Thank
Yeah.
God he didn't.
Johnny Depp was supposed to play
I'm
that.
done with Johnny Depp. Is anyone
Done
else
with
done
Johnny
with Johnny Depp?
Yeah.
Yeah, I am. Johnny Depp was supposed to play that part. And there was another person.
Go be spooky by
Well,
yourself.
That guy was. I really enjoyed the Linus character, and I liked that he had history.
Yeah.
I liked that there was implied history. And
His
you don't even
father,
go
yeah.
too deep into it, but there's a character they mention, and that's all you need to know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You enjoying the food? Great. Get the fuck in the house.
See,
Yeah.
okay, that guy was the best.
Yeah.
to
Oh,
me.
yeah.
My favorite two characters were
That's
the two
Ruben.
old guys.
Ruben Tishka.
Ruben and Saul.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were the best.
Saul
yeah.
was evil.
Yeah.
You all caught that, right?
Saul was retired evil.
No,
That
he's
should-
still evil, though.
but he
Like,
was
when
living
they're
in
doing
Florida, still
alignments, yeah.
retired evil.
He's seeing a nice lady who works the unmentionables
He's got wall-to-wall carpeting
wall-to-wall
in a nice duplex.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was evil.
If you ever ask if I'm ready again.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I saw you this morning over at the paddock. I saw you before you put your clothes on this morning. Yeah. He has some great lines in the movie.
I don't understand why they had him in one of the SWAT team outfits at the end.
I think for just comic relief.
I guess. Because he already had a role.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
he was dangling slowly,
And
trying
slowly,
to get.
clearly, like they had little comical moments of him. Like,
Yeah,
I thought that was totally unnecessary. Like they could have, he could have simply exited stage once his character was removed
just
from
met
the
up,
casino,
met outside at the fountain with everybody
Yeah.
else. Like,
which was
hey,
a
you guys-
great scene. That shot was
Also, you don't
gorgeous.
sign for millions, and I suppose those were supposed to be emeralds without paper changing hands. He didn't even get a receipt.
No, he didn't.
I mean, that doesn't happen. Never. Not ever.
Nope.
When he's
What are you
playing-
talking about?
when
The
he's
bags?
playing his character?
Yeah, when he gives him the briefcase and it
Yeah.
goes into the safe, they don't
Gotcha.
they don't
doesn't-
give him any kind of like when you.
I don't trust him. No. Shit. You think?
That's like when we went to go see VNV Nation, we dropped off. People were giving their coats. You got a little ticket. There was $1. You'd think it. These are supposed to be huge emeralds. Nothing.
Yeah, there's some glaring holes in this movie.
Yeah, there are.
Some no-go points where they should have been busted.
We already talked about Don Cheadle, and then we go to Bernie Mac playing Frank Catton. I think he would probably be just straight up like,
He's chaotic good.
yeah.
Yeah.
I love the bit with
He's
the
chaotic
with the
incarcerated
van.
now.
with the vans.
Yeah.
Do you
Yeah.
moisturize? He's like squeezing
Oh,
his
yeah, yeah.
hand. And I'm trying to do my, alone time business or whatever he said.
It's a valid tactic. Roll for intimidation.
He was
Sexual
kind of
modifier.
Persuasion. Yeah.
He was kind of underutilized, so I couldn't really tell if he was good.
Did like the race scene
Definitely chaotic.
between him and Matt Damon, where
Yeah.
he's chasing him around.
Yeah.
Definitely chaotic.
Apparently the line, "Want me to get up on the desk, shine your shoes, smile."
Yeah.
That was improv.
No, I thought that
I
was
believe
chaotic
it,
good.
yeah.
Yeah. He was great. And then apparently there's a rumor going around that the gentleman on the comedy tour that they were both on, who also now hosts Family Feud. I forget his name.
I hate that guy. Yeah.
Apparently there
Steve Harvey? Steve Harvey?
Yeah, Steve Harvey had apparently vied the director and said, "Hey, let me do the part. Take Bernie Mac out."
Yeah.
And that didn't happen. And then when he was confronted with it on a radio show, he completely denied it. But there's a big rumor going around that he tried to get Bernie Mac off the movie because he wanted the part.
I like the Amazing Yen. I
The
liked
Amazing
him a lot.
Yen was cool. This was his first movie.
Yeah.
He was good.
Yeah.
We got a
The
grease,
Grease
man.
Man. Yeah.
Yeah.
Doesn't look that hard. Thump, thump, thump.
You gonna be okay
got
in
it,
there? Just I don't speak a lot of English, so here's a finger.
Yeah, no, yeah. What did he say? He was like, "You gonna be okay? Do you want some
Got
water?
enough
Do you want
air?
a magazine?"
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good part. I honestly, the Grease Man to me was more of an NPC.
No.
No,
No, I disagree. I think that whole party of RPCs.
Yeah.
I looked at him specifically as just an NPC. He was the one person that didn't
I saw
show
him as
up.
a monk.
He was that player who was there.
that's good. That's fair.
He was just a monk.
Yeah.
He was that player who was there, was probably checking his phone most of the time.
Well,
Hanging out with his buds.
back then you couldn't check your phone except to see if anyone had called.
Yeah, I mean, that's
If this were
true.
a tabletop game, he'd probably be checking his phone. He'd probably, he's that player who's playing
Yeah.
this character who's not completely invested, or he's one of their kids who occasionally
Oh, right.
comes back to the table and they have him do something and then he leaves.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay, yeah, I
Someone
can see
who's
that.
part-time invested, but I wouldn't say an NPC because he has some challenges. And
Okay.
NPCs generally don't have to make
The acrobatic
die rolls.
skills.
Yeah.
Okay.
to perform things that are not necessarily related
Rip
to the
cotton.
characters. Yeah.
DC 10.
Yeah. And he keeps rolling
Yeah.
shitty to pull that
He's
riff.
90 pounds. He's got an 8 strength.
You also had the two brothers, played by Casey Affleck and Scott Conn. They were originally supposed to be played by.
Is that one of those Afflecks?
Yes, that's one of Ben Affleck's. That's his younger brother. Those parts were originally supposed to be played by Owen and Luke Wilson, which I'm really glad that didn't happen.
Yeah.
Luke Wilson is okay, but I'm not a big fan anymore of Owen because everything in that movie would have been wow, and that just would have killed.
Yeah,
it
it would have been annoying.
I think they were good. They were.
Those
the
two were
perfect
great.
Henchmen.
Yeah.
They were in every
The gearheads.
scene.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they just fought with each other, and
But
did
they
their
were
thing.
they were the two guys carrying everything as well.
Yeah.
What I really liked
Yeah.
is no one's father died, no one's master died.
Mm-hmm.
There wasn't any overly cliche reasons for their doing this.
Pure.
They wanted
greed.
money, and he wanted his wife back.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Rusty wanted to get away from teaching how to play poker to the Hollywood teenager scene, which that whole scene in that bar was great, where he's trying to teach them poker. Topher Grace and the woman that was on Charmed, and then another guy was on like Dawson's Creek and
Pacey.
and-
He was also in The Mighty Ducks. He was Charlie in The Mighty Ducks.
Okay.
And he was in Fringe.
I need to watch Fringe again.
I need to watch The Mighty Ducks.
Yeah, that's a good movie.
That's a fun movie.
It's fun.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
The second one was pretty good too. Third one was kind of lame. But
vodka. Little water.
Little Water. Then we have Carl Reiner as Saul, which we already talked about, and Elliot Gould as Reuben. Your two favorites, Nathaniel, out of the whole movie.
They
the
were-
older guys.
the older I get, the more I appreciate the older characters.
Yeah.
And I see like their crankiness. I'm with you.
So
I'm just with you.
apparently, I forget if it was the assistant director or it was someone in the production for the movie. No, I think it was one of the original scriptwriters. Based Ruben Tishkov off of his actual like Russian uncle, who like would come out with all the gold chains and the hairy chest and the big glass. He was like the stereotypical
I didn't
type.
see him as
Get in
that.
the fucking house.
I honestly, I saw him as like the epitome of the Hollywood Jewish producer. Is what I was seeing.
Yeah, I
there.
can see that.
He's at a point in his life where he's eating big salads, but he's still fat.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's another stereotype that you see often in movies.
I also saw him as Old Vegas.
He
was
very
Old
much so.
Vegas
Very much so.
versus
when the mob was
Benedict's
there.
New Vegas, and to the point that they destroy his casino as like proving that Old Vegas is dying and it's Benedict and his New Vegas, and he's like, "Oh, I fucking hate this guy."
And then we have Eddie Jemison, who played Livingston Dell, who was the Radio Shack of the group, the ears and the digital equipment.
Yeah, radar.
Yeah, radar. Thank you. I couldn't for some reason think of that word. Thank you.
He was underutilized too. He wasn't in that many scenes, but he was good. you
Yeah,
know?
he was the back end of the whole heist. So
Yeah. Honestly, the characters, of course, that are in it the most.
you have
are
11. There's not going to be a lot of screen
Yeah.
time.
Clooney and Pitt, and then I think after
Matt
that,
Damon.
the two brothers, because they're in almost every freaking
Yeah.
scene.
Well, so was Damon.
And Damon's in a lot of them, but those two guys are literally like they are in almost every scene. Like they are the bodyguards, they are the henchmen, they are the carriers, they're the delivery guys.
I just
they're
like
the balloon guys.
everyone
They're-
didn't have an arc because that would have made this a 5-hour movie.
Oh, it would have been.
They explained
had
it
mini
fast.
arcs.
No, they have like less than like 2 sentences of explanation.
Well, yeah. I
That
mean,
is-
with their history, they just have
Yeah.
the background, the
Yeah.
mini arcs. That's
but
okay.
like
that's where I
there's
was
not
going with it.
conflict resolution with everybody, and it just doesn't matter. And it's
everybody has
it's
a
just
sad
good.
puppy
Yeah, it's
story.
Just, stop that. Hollywood, stop it. It's been done to death.
It
I'm
has.
sick of it.
That's true. Sorry, I lost my place.
I'm just gonna say, like, if occasionally a parent or a sensei does not survive, so what? People can be heroes anyway. People can be admirable anyway.
Hang on,
Just for one
reminded,
day.
That reminded me. You made a comment about parent, and because I was a little confused earlier when we started talking. Both of you made the comment about the flub of Matt Damon using his real name as Frank.
No.
Matt Damon, Bernie Mac.
Yeah, when they busted him for having an arrest record and working as a dealer, they did it under his real name.
Yeah, you're right. Matt Damon. Matt Damon's the one who said Frank's real name.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, because earlier in the movie, Matt Damon's dad is named Frank. And there was commented about... Okay, so that's where I thought you were going with that.
First off, we're also assuming that Frank was his real name.
Yeah, true.
We're getting that from how his other people know him, too, though.
But
and he was very firm about, I'm not that. I'm Enrique or whatever he was
but
now.
his name listed in the movie is Frank Catton. So, But Matt Damon's dad was also named Frank, I think, if I remember correctly. And he said, you're going to trade up on his name. Now you can trade on yours.
Yeah.
So...
I'm sorry you were confused.
No, I'm just all over the place with this one.
It's okay.
It just reminded me. Did any of you see a very short-lived television show from the early 2000s, I think, with Ray Liotta called Smith?
No.
Check it out sometime.
Okay.
It kind of takes some of the same premise. It's a team of bank robbers, a heist job team. There's only like one season.
I'm still
even
looking
it was
for
cut
Sharp.
Short.
It's not on any
Oh,
of the
Sharp
streaming
was
services.
great.
Yeah.
I loved Sharp.
The Sean Bean shows
Yeah.
that we were talking about last time? Yeah. Yeah, you check them out. I hear that there's these ships that sail the seas and carry
and
movies
whatnot.
back and forth. Maybe you should check that.
This had a lot of great one-liners that actually lived on. They not so much today. They didn't have that like total test of time thing. But during the early 2000s, you could hear a lot of quotes from this movie.
Like, give us a few. What do you like? Give us a few that you liked specifically.
Well, you got to put me on the spot.
It's just like do it
Because you were bringing it up.
Wait, I like the scene of them sitting there. It was just Clooney and Pitt, and Pitt's laying on his head on his side, kind of staring off, and Clooney's like, blah blah blah. I think we got a full crew, but you think maybe we need 11?
Yeah.
I don't think we need 11. Pitt
and
says
he's
nothing.
just still staring.
You think we need 11, don't you? Pitt says nothing. Yeah, we need 11.
I think one of my favorites is between Rusty and Linus. You scared? You suicidal? Only in the morning.
Yeah. No, honestly, and I'm drawing a blank on it, but there were a lot of lines that were carried on and just people talking for quite some time. My favorite line is, and I thought it was indicative of the whole movie, because all the cast of characters were too smart for the position they were in. And that's why they turned to crime, which is a great underlying theme of the movie. And a theme I actually enjoy is that smart people have a real hard time just living in society. If you're really smart or you're really skilled, it's hard to be normal. It's hard to obey the norm's rules.
We've visited that theme before in a previous episode.
Well, this reinforces it.
Sneakers.
Oh, right.
Yep.
Well, this is kind of
Almost an updated
carry on.
Sneakers, yeah.
Like that. God, I'm bored. You look bored. I am bored. It would be very hard to be brilliant and not live outside the boundaries.
I can think of one quote that I've used. All Reds. I've used it a number of times.
Yeah, and I also like with this movie. There's a lot going on underneath the surface of the whole movie. There's a lot more history that gets hinted at. There's that scene when Clooney and Pitt are with Saul, and they're trying to get him to, hey, we want to do this heist, and they're talking, and Saul says, he's like, look, we all go way, way back, and I owe you from that thing, from that guy in that place. And Rusty's like, I've never been to Belize, like that. I don't know what you're talking about. So there's a little hints of a lot more underneath this that's something that I also really like with the script. I thought the script was amazing.
I'm curious what they're going to do with the prequel.
It's not a prequel.
That's what the last thing I read this morning said. It was a prequel.
It's not a prequel. It's a side movie. It's Danny
Dusty
Ocean's
feels
sister.
very passionate about this.
I do. I very much do.
Okay.
It's Danny Ocean's sister. And Danny Ocean has died in this new movie, and even actually Matt Damon and Rob Reiner do cameos reprising their roles in this movie. But there's even a comment of when she's up for her parole. No, when she's hanging out with, he's a British talk show host, and I don't remember his name, but he's in this movie. He was on Doctor Who also. He asked me, he's like, is this like a mental thing? Is it is it run in the family? And she's like, yeah, it completely runs in the family, talking about being thieves and heist people. So yeah, it's not a prequel. It's not a reboot. It is another side of the family another part of the family doing their thing.
I don't know. It just sounds kind of manufactured.
Sounds like a soft reboot.
Yeah. Like
Well,
a soft
it had
reboot.
been in production from after when they were thinking about after Clooney said he wouldn't do a fourth one. They're like, well, let's
Yeah,
bring
but
in
normally
a
like
sister.
These are planned years.
Yeah, well, it's
back.
not like a Ghostbusters reboot.
Yeah, that was another soft reboot. I'm not a big fan of soft reboots. I appreciate playing in a universe, but it has to be a good universe. I think you can give the feel of a movie or or even the commercial success of a movie without just blatantly, once again, milking that cow for everything you can. I mean, it sounds annoying. I won't see it unless you guys make me.
I will.
Behold my television screen, blatantly milking that cow.
Yeah, but that's
Power
for
Rangers.
children.
I don't think I'll put Ocean's 8 on the list, but I'll definitely go and see it.
Like, first run?
Yeah.
Huh.
I have a movie pass
It's
card.
Sandra
It's
Bullock,
$10
isn't
a
it?
month. I'm not yeah, I'm
I
not
don't pay
wasting
money to
any
see
money.
Sandra Bullock movies.
Why? What's wrong with
They are always disappointing garbage.
How
Always.
so?
It's Sandra Bullock. That's how.
Ooh.
Like Gravity? What about that movie?
Gravity was awful.
As a script, it was decent, but like as real science, it was kind of shitty.
Yeah. Oh, the part that really just got me the most was right at the end. Oh, we got to let him go. No, you actually don't. Just tug. That's it. Just one little
I
tug.
know.
And guess what? He'll remain in orbit following the ship,
Yeah.
following everything because that's how space works. Just tug. And he's
Speaking of how science works, I like when he covers his balls just before he sets off the EMP. That was
Yes,
a great
I
monkey
know.
moment. It's like, I know this can't affect my sperm count, but just in case, I'm going to cover
I
up.
thought he was about to jizz his pants.
No.
Because
No,
he
he
was
was-
looking like
No. That was I'm gonna cover my
junk just to make sure.
I read that as I'm about to pop a boner. I need to adjust because
You went the other direction.
he was the kind of guy who would probably get turned on by that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I would. I've never done an EMP.
I
I'd
get
be
turned
rock
on by
hard.
tech.
Yeah. Busting through the front of my
This
blue
is the guy
jeans.
whose whole thing is booby traps. Like he's
Yeah.
literally got a sick addiction to them. So
The cool thing about that whole scene with the EMP device was that the director and the production crew went to like Caltech to talk to them.
water-cooled EMP
I know, to talk to them
device.
about like, hey, this is what we want to do. Is this possible? And they're like, yeah, we actually have one. It's over here, but it's not going to fit in a van. It's like the size of a building, and so they got schematics and they drew everything out, and they're like, okay, we're going to make this one. And Caltech went,
with green bubbly water.
yeah, Caltech went, that's not going to do anything, but we understand what you want to do for a movie purpose, so good on you. Thank you
Yeah.
for at least coming and doing the research for us and with us. We appreciate that.
Yeah, I thought that was adorable. But
Yeah.
I totally get that monkey reaction of, but just in case, protect the balls.
They also told the production company and crew, everybody, listen, if you wanted to wipe out Vegas, the electricity in Vegas for this amount of time,
Oh, I thought you meant wipe out Vegas.
you would literally have to drop a nuclear bomb on it because that's the only way you're going to get that widespread power.
Oh, not Vegas. To me, that's America's asshole. I fucking hate
See, to me,
Vegas.
that's Tucson, Arizona.
Nah, Vegas
Los
is
Angeles.
the fucking worst.
As
Vegas
much as-
is just this
Yeah.
this fake thing that exists in the desert, and people go there to hump the ghost of the American dream, and it's disgusting.
I would have
I
loved to
hate
gone to
going
like
to
when my
Vegas.
granddad would go and count cards at the blackjack. That would have been great. Back in the 50s and 60s. That would have been great.
No,
Vegas is just a place that feeds off addiction.
yeah, Vegas is begging for a meteor.
Yeah, I'd rather take out Los Angeles.
No, I
No.
hate Vegas.
One
One
really
great
wouldn't
big
matter to me.
festering neon distraction.
Because afterwards we're
I have
dead
a
anyway.
suggestion
So
to-
No, I
keep you all
can't stand
occupied.
Tool either.
Learn to swim. Get out of my house.
This is dark, real quick.
I don't. Maynard is he's been a dick lately.
You know,
Maynard's been a dick.
We got to end that conversation.
He's got all his time for his fucking winery commercials, but will he come out on stage for $60? No, he won't. He's
are
gonna
you
stand in the
talking
dark.
about?
What do you mean?
Who are you talking
they're
about?
on tour right now.
Yeah. And he's in the dark because he wants the rest of his band to get the attention.
Actually, no.
Who the fuck are you talking
Maynard
about?
James Keenan.
From Tool.
Oh,
Maynard is not
fuck.
one. There's many bands that actually put the lead singer up in the top and in the back because it's better acoustics. Frequently, it's actually going to be better to put the drummer up the front or in the front side because that way you can
because
It
the
sounds
best
better.
singer in the world, acoustics matter. What are we talking into right now?
Microphones.
Oh, what do those do?
It's just a presence thing.
Nah,
Yeah.
fuck Maynard and fuck his winery.
His wine's really good. I've got several bottles in my
God
closet.
damn it! Now that being said, I like his other bands. I like Perfect Circle.
Yeah,
I
I
think,
think
it's great.
Perfect Circle is better than Tool.
I like Pussifer a
Yes.
lot.
I
Pussifer
don't
is
actually
fantastic.
like Perfect Circle at all, but I do like Pussifer.
Yeah.
You can get
But
out of my house too,
I'm
dude.
just tired of Tool. I just am.
Tool's a Tool.
I think he's tired of Tool.
I think so,
probably.
too.
Well, okay. So there's a documentary about his winery, and at one point in the documentary, they do talk about musical inspiration and how, when you're in a certain mindset, and if that mindset is filled with a certain emotion, you can write certain music, and maybe you'll get famous for that music. But you can't always tour and play that music because you're not always in that mindset. It's like 9 Inch Nails. He's had the same kind of stuff. He's in his 40s, if not 50s.
I think he's in
now.
his 50s
Yeah, he's
now.
probably
Yeah.
early 50s.
He no longer is the pre-hate machine.
No,
He
because he's not on
longer-
drugs.
Well, that's
he's not
what I like
depressed.
about him
Yeah.
is that he and his music have evolved. That's
Well, the same with Maynard. Like
Yeah.
he mostly does stuff. He'll go back and forth between projects wherever his mind is.
I don't.
You don't like the fans, do you?
That's a big thing.
There's
Yeah,
a lot
the
of
Tool
that.
fans.
Tool fans
Are
tend
like
to-
Star Wars fans.
or Rick and Morty fans. They tend to be douchebags. They tend to harp too heavily on the messages of the song without realizing that they are the butt of the joke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because a lot of people didn't get the whole Szechuan thing, and
dear
people
God.
were freaking out.
What
about
that's
gets
it.
the
me
tip of the fucking
yeah,
iceberg.
what gets
I know.
me is that he literally explains how stupid the Szechuan thing is as he's talking about the Szechuan
Yes.
sauce. Yeah, and yet people are still like, "Oh, you wouldn't get it. You're not smart enough." I'm like, dude,
He
you're
explains
the
it.
joke.
Yeah.
You're the joke.
You see, this is why you don't talk to people. Some people you just need to slap. You know what you don't get about this? Shut up.
It's like that Batman slapping Robin image.
Oh yeah.
Timeless.
There's just some people that need to be grounded and centered. And I've found that nothing brings immediacy like a good slap across the chops.
And you can send your complaints to Matthews at havemovieswillgame.com.
Fuck to it. Talk to me in
not
person.
An actual
Yeah,
email
we can
address,
tell you
but I
exactly
can
where
set
he
it up
works,
if
too.
people want me to.
Bring it. Anyway, he
It's a
covers
lot
his
of
balls.
Tangents in this.
By the way, if you haven't already caught
this is just an outtake episode.
we're going
The
to
whole
have spoilers
thing-
this episode.
This
so
whole thing is
go
nothing
watch
but
it, and we'll be
outtakes.
here when you come back.
Do you have anything else on this? All right. I'd like to say that I don't. When I first watched this movie back in 01,
Yeah,
I
when
guess
it
is
came
when I
out,
first
yeah.
watched it. I did see this in the theater.
Yeah,
and
same
I thought
here.
it was one of the best movies I had ever seen.
I agree. I love the ensemble cast.
I agree. I saw it in the theater and thought it was amazing.
Now, I can't sit and watch the original. It's too slow. It's too
Yeah,
boring.
it's different.
I tried.
I love the
tried.
actors in it, but
Yeah.
it's just like next fucking
Yeah.
page. Come
If
on.
you're not a film student, don't bother.
Yeah, it's
But
true.
I have to say a lot of it that I saw today out of the initial rosy glow
Mm-hmm.
with the older, the more jaded, the more cynical Matthew
Mm-hmm.
that watched it today, it was all right. It did not hold up in my estimation.
See, for me, it did because I'm a big fan of the director. I mean, there's a lot of the camera shots he uses, the lighting
Still
that he
a great
uses.
film, but
it is. I mean, I
wasn't that
still
blown away
enjoyed
kinda
it
feel.
as much as I did the very first time I've seen it. So I watched it. And I've seen it probably 36 times. It's a movie I'll just put on if I'm like, oh, hey, I want a heist movie, and this is one of my favorite heist movies. Okay, cool.
I feel both of you, but I do think, Matthew, you're kind of speaking to at least to me as a member of your choir here. When I was watching it, I remember I saw it in the theater and I was like, this is one of the coolest fucking things I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
Because again, I dig the whole competence porn.
Mm-hmm.
I actually haven't seen it all that many times.
No, I've seen it like 3 times. This would be the
and
third.
today would be like the third
Yeah.
or fourth, maybe. And I remember thinking that too, like, okay, this is good. I'm enjoying this. But it doesn't evoke that same feeling. I
No.
was not grabbing my crotch with excitement. Conversely, last time we talked about Big Trouble in Little China.
Yeah.
That is a movie that every single time I watch, I am sitting there wrapped with excitement.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I'm that way with this movie too. I mean, those two movies I'll do a double feature on, and I'll be just as happy.
Fifth Element.
Yeah.
Every time I watch it, I'm right there.
I would say
I'm in the
it's
moment.
when I saw it was A+. Now it's a B.
It's a B now.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's not bad. Don't get me wrong.
No,
Don't get me twisted. But I think and it may be me, or it may be how stories have evolved and I've evolved with them over the years.
Mm-hmm.
But it seemed a little tame.
Well, I think it's a little dated, which might cause it to be a little tame.
I didn't notice much of the dated aspect.
Yeah,
of it.
I mean, if you put a modern cell phone in everyone's hand, the rest of it works. But that's it.
Okay.
I mean, the rest of it's there. I mean, there's a little bit of frosted tips, which you can't get away from in the 2000s, but that's neither here nor there.
The only thing that I don't like, the problem with this director is that every movie he does has that same kind of, at the end, goes back and shows you what was going on behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Like, he does that in all of his movies, and that's his thing, and I like it. But after this movie, you go in knowing every movie he's going to do, there's going to be cuts going back, and you're going to see things like, Matt Damon walking by, and then someone coming back behind him,
explaining.
Yeah, so how they got from A to B to C to D. So
yeah. I mean, I thought it was good. I expected to like it more because I haven't seen it in like a decade.
Okay.
And I didn't, and I was a little weirded out by that.
Interesting.
Yeah, I kind of. It's not again. I wouldn't even say B. I would say an A minus. I'd still put it in the top 90%.
Yeah, I give it a solid A, like a very good solid A still.
And it's good, at least an A minus. I hate using the word minus because minus implies bad, but I think an A minus is still better than a B plus.
Okay, well, how many Matt Damons would you give it out of 10 Matt Damons?
11. Obviously 11.
How many oceans? I would give it 9.5 oceans.
I'm at 8 oceans.
I'm definitely at 10 oceans.
Yeah,
Not 11?
10. Well, there are a few things, but
okay,
and that's just more on the technical side, some continuity mistakes.
Yeah.
Like okay, so one of the running gags in the whole movie, if you catch up on it, is that Brad Pitt's character is eating in every single scene that he's in. Something. He's eating pretty much in every single scene that he's in.
I was actually looking for it because I had heard that.
Mm-hmm.
So I went back and looked. He eats a lot, but it's not in every scene.
I was every scene.
Thing.
Okay. Yeah. Because they're always on the go, so he's always and there's the one scene where they're going to introduce Julia Roberts' character coming down the stairs. And he had gone through so many pieces of shrimp that at one point he's got, a bowl of shrimp, and then the next cutaway scene, it's a plate, and then it cuts back to him and he's got a bowl again. So there are little things like that on the technical side kind of whittle it down just a little bit. But apparently he went
ate all
through
the shrimp and got more?
No.
Shrimp tray came by. It is a rich ass casino.
Speaking of that, the actors, even though they each took such a significant pay cut in doing this movie, each actor in this movie had the top billed had a 7,000 square foot villa at the Bellagio all to themselves.
Nice.
I wanted to like it more than I did on rewatch.
But you didn't dislike it.
I didn't dislike it. I thought it was a good movie. It's a solid movie.
I love this movie.
The cinematography was great. Whoever went in and did the editing made it nice and lean, which I really like in a movie.
Yes.
There was a lot going on in the scenes. The whole less is more thing that I'm a fan of. It's like show the story, don't tell it. I think it's a solid. It's a really good movie. But I was expecting to love it, and I was like, oh yeah, tired chuckles, not. Oh my god.
Well, I don't think there's a lot of oh my god laughter through the whole movie. I think there's some good comedy, but I don't.
Yeah.
It's a heist. I don't think a.
Well, I was using that as an analogy.
Okay, I was
not
just
an
saying.
actual.
Okay, well,
There's another movie from kind of around the same time that I find myself feeling the same way about, a movie that I loved when it came out, and I watched it numerous times, and now I see it. I'm like, okay, I've enjoyed watching this, but I'm just not into it, and that's Fight Club. I think I kind of have the same feeling. Like, it seemed to be very set in a moment.
Yeah.
And it's very much a boys' club kind of show.
Yeah.
Neither of them have a very diverse cast. Sometimes
That doesn't particularly bother me.
For
but-
me, sometimes with Ocean's 11 at least, I started noticing it because there was a monotony in the fact that it's just the same people and over again. These quick cut scenes, which is odd because there's a TV show which I'll talk about in a bit that kind of does the same thing, but they condense it in like little capsule format, and it does. And I'm addicted to the show, but
Fight Club is the same, isn't it? It doesn't. It certainly doesn't have the impact. Maybe it's because it's just past. It's over.
It's past.
Yeah. Maybe we're just getting old.
I think so.
Maybe death looms, and it's cold hands reach.
Yeah.
You got anything else, Dusty?
God, we're all over the place on this one. I came in with like, I didn't have the bulleted things. Like, I want to go away from that, but I had my brain the way I wanted to go, and no, I don't have anything else. Because I can sit here and go on and on about how much I like the director and the cinematography and the use of color and the color
I did
palettes,
notice that how
soundtrack,
the warmth of the casino, like everything went yellow. Everything was tan and yellow.
And he uses a lot of he doesn't use a lot of filters on light, so it gives a very washed out look on a lot of things. And that's awesome.
Yeah, everything outside was very washed, but everything inside when they were planning, not even just the casino, but when they're indoors, they used a lot of yellow filter, which gave it a warmth, which makes you think camaraderie, even if people are yelling at each other, because that's just the way we're wired.
Yeah.
So I mean, that was good use. I agree with that. All right. Well, we're going to take a little break, and when we come back, we're going to get into the gaming aspects. Hi, everyone. This is your favorite host, Matthew. This week's episode is brought to you by Guardian Games, who we are proud to have as our sponsor. Guardian Games is Portland's largest gaming store. They have almost every game you can think of, be it role-playing, board game, card games, miniature games, even video games. They also have a ton of gaming-related material and some pretty neat swag. I mean, the D20 fuzzy dice that go in your mirror, that's good stuff. If you're 21, you can have a drink in the back at the Critical Sip. Booze makes gaming better. Always has, always will. There's free games back there. You'll love it. They also have a friendly and incredibly knowledgeable staff, and they are the hub of a diverse and friendly gaming community. If you're in Portland, you definitely want to go to Guardian Games. All right, so what?
So one of my friends has this theory or this political belief that he's like, if he ever is elected to office, he wishes to campaign hard for what he calls the 5 free punches rule.
Go on.
Oh, dear
You
Lord.
get 5 free punches each year. You just get 5 free punches. You think if you live in a society where people can get 5 free punches, duty free, then people will be a little bit less likely to be dicks to each other.
It would be hard to be a public figure in that. That being said,
It would be
I
hard.
really want this to happen.
Yeah.
Who would I spend mine on?
I think there would need to be rules like you can't do it within domestic relationships because that's just kind of legalizing
I think
abuse.
there should be a limit as to how many punches an individual can take. Like, I get 5 free punches, but no one should be hit more than, let's say, 1,000 times.
No, I think... No, go ahead.
1,000 times is enough to get your point across.
Some people know, like the conversation we were just having prior to
Well,
this
you
starting
could,
back up.
you could, we could work with this. We could turn it into 5 free punches, no more than 5 against you. So no person can be punched more than 5 times.
Oh,
Like,
but
so
that
I
is just
couldn't
people punching each other. If someone doesn't get more than 5...
No, it's punching without being arrested.
This
for
would
it.
turn into like the scene from Airplane where people are going down the row and smacking the girl that's the woman that's like being hysterical or the kid or whomever.
I think
That's what it would turn into, and that's glorious.
I'd spend it all on politicians. I'm not going to say who's,
Politicians,
yeah.
but
Yeah.
yeah. And one for a guy, just a guy I know,
Just a guy,
and he's getting punched.
I hope it's not me.
No.
I don't think it's anyone at this table.
No. It's I have a nemesis, and we hate each other, but we check in on each other every now and then to make sure the other's still alive, so that we can keep hating.
I think we all have a nemesis.
Oh, and Bobbin. I'd punch Bobbin once just for shits and giggles.
I can't think of my nemesis anymore. I know that there have been stages in my life where I have had people that I have
Since I was
nemesis.
17.
I
had
had a nemesis for a while, and he turned into a pretty good friend.
Hey, Pat, 23 years of hate. Go fuck yourself.
And
I'm coming for you, boy.
From my perspective, I think I was in my early 20s and he was a few years older. And from my perspective, he stole my girlfriend. And so we were like nemesis. I'm a nemesis, whatever. Nemesis. I'm a writer and words fail me sometimes. But
the Pope, the president.
Years later, we
The Pope is
sat down and
really nice
played
guy.
Yes.
video games together, and everything was totally cool. And Chris, if you actually listen to this, yeah, you're a cool guy. I enjoy hanging out with you when I come to Phoenix.
Man, he stole your girlfriend.
You
Tell him
gonna
to go
punch
fuck
him?
himself.
No, I'm not gonna. No. Looking back, he didn't steal my girlfriend.
Would
I
you
just
use one of your 5 on him?
no.
So
He's
he's not
a
your
really good
Yeah,
guy.
so- yeah.
He's
So
a
he's
really
not-
good guy.
Yeah, you have to have a nemesis.
I had a nemesis in middle school that I would still use one of my punches on.
Yeah,
If
yeah. Fuck yeah.
But I do have someone in my life that I would like
Yeah.
straight up. I want you to hit me as hard as you can, Fight Club, and I wouldn't hit his ear, but I would straight up. Hit him
I
in
would
the
straight
jaw.
up Rochambeau this person, and I would get the first kick.
Like, do you get to choose where you punch them, or is it just like the
Ooh.
face or body? Nothing below the belt. I mean,
Probably
because
nothing
if
below
we're
the belt.
changing it to dick punching, then
We
I have
didn't-
some different choices.
I didn't really think this through. This was a drunken.
These are
conversation.
important.
If it's gonna be dick punching, then or just crotch punching in general, then that's a little.
I can think of a number
Got a
of
few.
nemesis that I've had since that middle school person that have all faded into obscurity. This kid, yeah.
I had a
would
lot
still
of
find
people
this
I
guy
didn't
and punch
like
him.
from like third grade through graduating high school. That
Guys, a nemesis hate is it's pure, it's passionate, and it never fades. Okay,
I understand.
you
I am a
stop
writer.
applying-
I know this.
Well, then stop applying it to a guy you don't hate anymore. It has to be someone that you.
okay, so what? So
burn
why
to
do you have
destroy.
this burning hatred? How is this person your nemesis?
Hold on.
The statute of limitations
is-
has not quite expired on some of this yet,
Is this-
so I'm not
is-
going to go into it.
Is this like Cosmo looking at his buddy being like, "That's my nemesis"?
Oh no
Like
no
that
no!
level, or
This
it
is like
deeper?
this is like Dr. Venture and the Monarch. This is
Wow. Okay.
You leave my husband alone.
hate. You and I already slept together. Who cares? You got the rusty.
How are you boys?
No, anyway,
Are they
I'm
doing
sorry.
okay?
I should probably seek back into what we're actually doing here, huh?
Yeah, I think we're
All
going into the gaming talk now.
All right. So I wrote a little something for this. It's called Run and Hide.
Okay.
So as I pointed out during the movie section, there are a couple of parts where they expose themselves to
Oh, do they now?
It sounded more appropriate than pum.
I'm just resting my nose on my microphone. No,
not a microphone.
they made themselves vulnerable to prosecution, to being discovered, to being tracked.
That sound you hear
I'll
is
wait for Nathanael
Nathaniel's
to
head
recover.
in his elbow, head down on the table, laughing.
Exposing in the 5 months at the vulnerability.
I was waiting for the 5 months.
Boing, boing,
I
boing,
thought you were
boing.
going to work it in. The Ocean crew made several mistakes and left many clues that would enable Benedict to track them. The dealer's real name, his girlfriend being openly with Danny Ocean, just to name a couple. There's a lot of ways that he has a hook into their real life.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't take long for Benedict, who is a very intelligent individual, to put the pieces together and figure out what really went on.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, I
even
completely
at the end of the
agree.
movie,
Yeah.
So,
his
he
thugs
knew.
out there.
No one is staying in country. People have to flee. But as we already see, he has a massive amount of money.
Mm-hmm.
He
But- and I
has
wanna-
a massive amount of resources.
What you're talking about is not in any way informed by the other movies. This is all new.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes. I never.
That's kind of what I
pull.
thought.
I haven't seen them either.
Yeah. I only pull from what's in front of me. So Benedict will figure it out.
Mm-hmm. He's a smart guy.
Yeah.
I mean,
He will come after them with his full resources. He's not going to turn them over to the police. He's after blood.
mm-hmm.
He's, as I said earlier, he's very cold. He's very reptilian, and he's willing just to go for it. He's going to have them killed if he catches them.
Well, there was that comment early on. You know, if you're gonna do this, you need to run because he'll come after you, and then he'll come after your
Run
family.
and hide.
Yeah, and he'll kill you, and then he'll go to work on
Oh,
you.
this is all based off that phone conversation
Mm-hmm.
with the fucking Brad Pitt.
Oh yeah, definitely. The
yeah,
run and
run
hide.
and hide.
Yeah.
Run and hide, motherfucker. So However big your player group is, that's how many of the PCs survive his initial attack.
Okay.
Because he sends his henchmen out and kills everyone who's not a player character sitting at your table. You can pick from any of the 11 in the movie. Now, the rest will show up dead. You will hear about it because you are criminals and everyone has contacts in the underground. Word will get around. You will know you are being hunted. I advise the player group to band together, but just straight running also works. This is not a game where you are the bold hero. You are people with a set of skills which will hopefully enable you to survive a massive onslaught from a man who literally has enough money to buy influence in whatever country's government you happen to be hiding.
Oh yeah,
in.
he's got like 5 dots in influence.
That's $163 less. $163 million less.
Good point.
So he's probably got 4 dots.
Okay,
now.
yeah, that's true. He's dropped a dot.
Okay.
So do you run and hide? Do you fight back? Do you attempt to take him out? Or are you just down for escaping?
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be the question that the party will have to settle first.
Okay.
The DM or the GM or the storyteller or the whomever should gear it in whatever game it is so that the party bands together. Probably being driven towards each other, towards a trap, where he can take the entire party and in true villain fashion gloat over them for a second before he brutally murders you all.
Yeah.
So you
But
really...
he doesn't gloat like he gloats like this.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
very
it's a
calm.
smoldering stare almost.
Yeah.
Have my blue steel.
Glaring. Oh,
You fucked up.
Do you frame him? How do you take him down? You are not really fighters. None of you are really fighters. So you're going to have to use your special skills in order to take that down. So this should be done in a skill-heavy game.
Mm-hmm.
And I honestly think that as it doesn't have a lot of combat sequences,
there really wasn't any.
Yeah, any of the more mainline games would really work for this. But your goal is either to escape or to destroy the foe that is most certainly coming to destroy you.
Yeah, the only type of fighting that was even in this movie was just verbal attacks.
Yeah.
Just back and forth banter. Like who could be more of a smartass or who could be basically it was a bunch of bards talking to each other that double classed in thievery.
So this is going to be a game of who can plan best.
But it's going to be a game about being awesome.
Oh, yeah. So
Yeah.
that's my idea for what to do
I like
next
it.
if you wanted to game this at the table. What you got?
Well, you guys know I love competence porn.
Yes.
I like stories of awesome people doing awesome things
Awesomely.
I love it when the people are really good at what they do and they get to showcase that more than once. And it's not just, oh, I critically succeeded at a thing. It's like, no, I critically succeed for breakfast kind of thing. So that's the theme of this. Clearly, I mean, this is a movie where all of them are good at what they do.
Yeah,
and this is the kind of to bring this off the screen into your table. You want a game or a setup that's going to allow your characters to frequently succeed and do it very well. Like you're going to want to add some embellishment because one of the cool things about all the shit that they did in these movies is that they did it with pizzazz. They did it with flash.
They
didn't
grab it out of their ass. It was premeditated. It was well
They
thought
knew
out.
every
it was well
step of the
executed.
way. It was watching a really good chess game. Someone knowing, 6, 7, 8 moves ahead.
Also, but they did it like they left their mark. They fucked with their mark, even. Like the person that they
played
considered
with
their
him.
mark. They played with him to the point the van with watch it. Hey, watch it.
The remote
just
control
do it already.
Yeah.
like they were fucking with them. They were that good. So you want a game system that's going to allow that, but not just the game system. If you're going to run this as a GM, you need to be prepared to allow the players to improvise. And if you're going to play this, or if you're going to run this, you're also going to want a bunch of players that are down for that kind of awesomeness. Like so many games make you start out as, Joe Cute piss pot tender, and then you have to claw your way up to the top experience point by experience point. This game has no experience. You don't track advancements. You will start this game and you will be awesome. There's
I
really,
like awesome.
Yeah, that's
like
a good,
the
it's a good start.
advancement. normally RPGs award you with a number of things, such as, XP,
Skills.
treasure, increases to your character's abilities,
Yeah.
and things you can use later. Not really this one. No, this is money.
Yeah.
Money.
Is this
Money's
the
what you
runner-up,
get.
or is this what you got?
Well,
What do we got?
I can think of a few systems off the top of my head. There's one specifically called One Last Job.
Mhm.
It's an indie game. It's on drive-through. It has significant levels of failure involved in it, so I'm not really going to pitch it.
Okay.
There's another game that kind of comes to mind that's really popular. I believe like the tabletop group has done it. And anyway, a lot of people know this game is called Fiasco. Some people suggested, hey, Fiasco. No, not Fiasco. Because Fiasco is a Coen Brothers movie game. Not a competence
You're gonna use
board
later?
game.
Okay.
Fiasco is a game where everyone fucks up and does so disastrously.
Right.
You can start with a heist that seems to be going well, but with Fiasco, everything goes downhill because it is a fiasco.
Mhm.
First, I want to talk about a television show.
Okay.
It's a television show that no longer exists, that was filmed here in Portland, Oregon.
I think I know where you're going to go with this because I think you've mentioned this show several times in several different episodes for several different reasons. All of them good. I'm not downplaying that at all. But I think I know where you're going.
It's called Leverage.
Yep. Ding, ding, ding.
Leverage is basically, in its own way, Ocean's 11, the TV show, for 5 whole seasons. It is starring Timothy Hutton as the main
That would be
showrunner.
Danny. Yeah.
He is the mastermind, as you call that character on the team. And then he builds this team of criminals to do a job. And then one thing leads to another. They get screwed by their employer. Then they band together to go fight back against their employer. Then they realize, hey, we actually got a good
good
thing
at
going
this,
on
yeah.
here. Let's start a TV show. Anyway, so they do a TV show about. The TV show is about a team of criminals who, unlike the Ocean's 11 group, these are mostly good people. Very chaotic, but in the end, they tend to do the good thing because they mostly do their work pro bono. They don't
shut down the hospitals to get their money.
They don't.
That's
They
good.
will take. They take mission. They take these jobs from people who need help, who need leverage on someone, and then they go through the motions of basically bringing their target down to the ground, to the dirt and below.
Oh, you did explain this once before. And this is
That's
the
a
one
very
that
good
does the
show.
reveal at the end, how they did it?
Yeah.
Just like Ocean's
Yes.
11?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Leverage is built. There's a formula, and like some things feel like a bad formula. Leverage always does it well, to the point that you're waiting for it.
Right.
You know it's coming. You know it's coming. You're like, how did they do it? Doesn't get old because the characters are interesting and they grow and they progress and they have good connections. And I'm turning this into the Leverage show, but Leverage is a really great show. It's on
all right.
Netflix, 5 whole seasons of it. It's got some great actors in it. Timothy Hutton, Saul Rabiniak, Mark Shepard is in a lot of the episodes. What was her name? Who was 7 of 9? Jerry Hollowell?
Jerry Ryan?
Jerry Ryan.
She gets in that
She's
show?
in it. She's in it for a season.
Okay. I didn't watch all 5 seasons.
Great show.
Leverage, send us stuff.
Send us stuff, Leverage. Stuff. Yes, please.
Yeah, Christian Kane is in it also.
Christian Kane is one of my favorites.
He lives in Portland.
He is. Yeah.
Yeah, he frequents Dante's and does he sings. He does a set there
he's in a
every
country
once in a
band.
while.
Yeah, Christian Kane is an amazing actor. He's in The Librarians too, and we bought the first season of The Librarians only because Christian Kane was in it. Not so good.
Yeah.
See, I love the movies for the librarian.
Yeah, the show. The movies were movies.
Yeah.
It shouldn't have been a show. And Christian Kane's like the only redeeming quality. Well, John Larroquette's good in that too, but Christian Kane is like the only. He steals every scene he's in. Anyway.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Mark Shepard is also in Leverage.
Mark Shepard,
Yeah.
He's a recurring character. He's kind of a villain.
Yeah.
And in true competence porn style, occasionally he's an ally. You never really know because it's Mark Shepard and he plays that I'm going to fuck you up, but today we're friends character so well.
Cool.
So, Leverage has an official role-playing game based on it.
Okay.
And this is the game that I think would be perfect. So in Leverage, you play a team of specialists. You get together and you do jobs against a mark. In it, you have the mastermind, and the mastermind is the player who's in charge of making a lot of decisions for the team, organizing things, and kind of manipulating some of the player side story. You have the grifter. They are the social character. Saul, of course, have been a grifter. There were a number of social scenes in the movie, but ultimately Saul is the one who comes to mind.
Okay.
I think he did the biggest grift.
Yeah, I think he probably. Yeah, I think you're right on that. I think he had the most in character wise, like of the character that he had to make was the more long running, long term. He had to stay in that persona the whole time. Whereas everybody, Brad Pitt was a doctor. He was, whatever else. Danny just played Danny just to kind of pull attention away from everybody else. The brothers were caterers and mechanics and everything else you could be thrown their way. So yeah, I agree. Saul was probably the longest running con in the whole movie.
Yeah.
Is that the Margaret Weiss of Dragonlance?
Wait, what?
Like a lot of these RPGs we pull up on drive-through, like Leverage.
Leverage is done by Margaret Weiss Productions,
which is from Dragonlance, old school.
Yeah,
they have a company.
That's awesome.
They do a game called Cortex. With the first instance of Cortex, I think it's called Cortex because the first instance of it was the Serenity role-playing game.
Right.
And they've done a few editions of Cortex. This is a flavor of Cortex. I actually like this system a lot better than the Serenity version, but it's really good. I also have the Firefly game over there, which is another Cortex.
So do I. Yeah.
But so we got the grift, we got the mastermind, we got the grifter. Another character is the hacker. I mean,
the hacker is great in that show.
Another character is the thief.
She's amazing.
Yeah. And then finally we have the hitter. We don't really have a hitter in Ocean's 11. You could probably even leave that role out. The thug,
that would be the
bruiser.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Christian Kane's character in the show is the hitter.
It's almost Bondian in that way that there's not a lot of gratuitous violence. It's more the violence is implied rather than shown.
Yeah. But this is a game that I think could do the Ocean's 11 theme very well. Now, mechanically, it's you build you basically, I'm doing it a horrible injustice. I'm sorry, fans of Cortex. But basically, the system is a kind of a stat plus skill. You get a die from a stat, you get a die from a skill. They call them different things like traits and assets. But in it, you get a die from one thing and a die from another thing, and you roll these two dice and you add them together and you make a thing happen. My favorite part of this system is it has these things called plot points, which are kind of tokens like Savage Worlds had the bennies. Fate has fate points. Cortex has plot points. In this version of Cortex, you use these to change the immediate story at hand.
Oh, right. Okay.
And there's a number of ways to do it, but my favorite way, and the reason I chose this game specifically, is the flashback system.
Okay, hang on, I'm going to interrupt you. I'm sorry. Can you give an example of how, changing the game, how that Benny works?
You're escaping the guards and you're fleeing down an elevator shaft. Flashback, you use your Benny.
Okay.
Someone left you rappelling gear on top of the
that's
elevator.
what I thought. I just wanted to make sure.
Like that?
Perfect.
Okay, I wanted to make sure I was on the same page with that. Okay, cool.
Yeah. Well, and you can use the plot point to say there's gear there, but then you have to tell how it happened.
That's an interesting
I like that.
Yeah.
But there's two ways to go about it. One is you, the player, are like, shit, I need some rappelling gear. And you look around the table. You haven't voiced this aloud yet. Nobody says anything. So you turn to the GM, or as... the GM has a special name in this game. But you turn to the GM,
the runner,
the fixer in this game.
Okay.
The GM is the fixer, but you turn to the GM, and the GM says, "Okay, spin a plot point, describe to me the flashback, and then roll a test to see if that succeeds, if that actually happens." If you fail the die, if you succeed, then yes, it's there exactly as you explained it. If you fail, you still have to keep explaining it, and then you have to explain why it failed.
Right.
However, the other way of going about that is you're there, suddenly you find that you need that rappelling gear, and before you say something, Dusty says, "It's a good thing you left that rappelling gear here last time." by another player making that pat on the back and making that suggestion, you can then spin the plot point and you don't have to make a test. It just happens.
Is there a way to make sure that fits into the ongoing storyline? Otherwise, that could be abused.
Yeah,
I
I was going to say the
being
same thing.
abused.
That could really be abused.
You have to narrate it sufficiently.
Okay.
Okay.
I mean,
So it has to fit in with times and places that have already been. Like, he flew from Nebraska an hour ago. This takes place in New York. Like, he hasn't had time to do that.
Yeah,
I
I see
mean-
where you're going. I see where you're going with that.
No. So Dusty doesn't have to be the one who put the rappelling gear there. He
I
simply
can just
says,
vocalize
the
it.
player, not the character. Dusty says, "It's a good thing you had that guy do that thing," and you're like,
It was.
Yeah,
wasn't
I
it?
did.
forward.
Yeah.
It's a good thing I
All
did.
right.
And this is how it happened. If another player passes it
To you. Yeah.
gives you the opportunity, you don't have to make the test. It just happens.
Right.
I like that.
Otherwise,
Yeah.
the guards get you. Or you make a roll.
Or you have
against
to
it,
make
yeah.
a roll to see if the guards get you.
Yeah.
That right there.
That's good
That's
stuff, yeah.
interesting, yeah.
So you can do, and that's called an establishment flashback. There's two different types of flashbacks. I forget the name of the second one, but the second one is like a revelation flashback or the whatever. It's the flashback that at the very end, as you're nearing completion of the job, the mastermind character, their player, has a special ability to bring a different kind of flashback into play, a coordinated team flashback, where they can start the narration of it, and then everybody else at the table can push forward a plot point
Right.
to add to the revelation of what
Okay.
actually happened. This happens all the time in the show Leverage, and this was like the last 20 minutes of Ocean's 11.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, oh, by the way, we did this and we did this, and those cops were us the whole time.
Yeah.
And the van is full of stripper flyer, prostitute flyers, and yeah.
and yeah, I would.
Yeah.
And it's driven by a robot.
That was a great little.
So, yeah,
thing.
I that seems just about perfect for this game.
Yeah, the leverage game would be perfect for Ocean's 11.
I
would love to. I'd love to play a night of leverage, like roll up a character and play it.
It sounds a little complicated, but I imagine once you get into the flow, it especially because it seems unlike a traditional, like let's just say D&D Modern or D20 Modern, where everyone's kind of looking out for themselves. This seems like you're working with your crew to help you do amazing things.
Have you ever played a game where you needed an item and you didn't have it?
Yes.
And you're
No,
like,
many
"God damn it,
times.
why did I not buy that 10-foot pole?
Many times.
That's
You're in
why
that
I spend
spot.
a lot of time on my equipment list.
But you're in that spot where that 10-foot pole could fucking help you right now.
That's why I always like GMs are always
That's
like
what that's for.
You
Right.
have that in your standard pack. Don't worry about that. Whereas playing with you, Nathaniel,
Oh, it depends on the game.
the few that I've played with you is I was like, fuck, I forgot my wait. I have rope with me. Do you? Well, you just gonna let me? It's a standard adventures pack. Do you? You've done that to me a few times. Like, no, I don't. Looks like you don't have rope.
It all depends for me on the game. I've run a game where I have done that, and then one player turns and says, "So I just have a bag full of crap, right?" And I said, and I looked at the player, and I know the character that she's playing. It's like, you absolutely have a bag full of crap, but you're gonna have to roll each time you reach into it.
Yeah.
To see what you pull out.
I spend a lot of time on equipment lists and carrying capacity because I'm weird like that, and I like the forethought that goes into that.
Yeah.
That being said, that's not for everybody. That's just something that gives me a weird little OCD boner. So I could see how this kind of game is very good for it. I especially like that it tells it in flashbacks, which is Ocean's 11.
That's
to
all
the
Ocean's
T.
11.
I mean,
What Ocean's 11 is just flashback, flashback, flashback. Oh, so now we're doing this thing. Oh, how do we get here? Good thing you asked.
Right.
We're going to show you right now. It's to the point that the timing on those flashbacks in the movie was so well done. Like oftentimes something would happen and you're like, what the fuck? Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Right.
Right before you finish that third word, the flashback cuts through with that sepia tone showing everything that just happened.
nice.
Yeah. Or like you dropped the phone into Julia Roberts' pocket that kind of thing is what you would spend a plot point on.
Yeah.
Because you're like, okay, cool. Well, I'm gonna let them know that we won, and you're like, the GM's like, oh, are you? How are you going to do that?
Right.
I totally
Here's
dropped
my
it.
chit. Yeah.
Slide that plot point across the table.
I like that. I like that a lot, actually.
It's the perfect system for this kind of game.
Yeah. No, agreed. I was just thinking,
Yeah.
that was a heavy old clunky phone. How did she not notice that in her filmy little silk?
Because when he had the antenna up, and he just as he went in,
No, the weight of it.
I know, but he didn't just drop it. I mean, that you see the cut where he gently lowers it into
Gently
her
lowers
pocket
it.
as
You're missing
as he
what I'm
kisses
saying.
her.
I'm saying that's a heavy phone, and she
Wasn't
got up
that
and moved.
heavy.
Yeah.
It wasn't that heavy.
You ever worn silk, baby?
She didn't
I had
notice
silk
it.
boxers.
It moves.
I had
She
silk
didn't-
boxers.
on you.
She didn't notice it because he paid for that shit with a plot point.
Ah,
Okay, there you go. All right. Well done. Well
Because
done.
the player
on that.
didn't think of it until that exact moment in the game.
right.
Now, there's another way we could go about this,
Mm-hmm.
and that is to go with a gear list, and that is to go Shadowrun. Cut out the magic, cut out the orcs. I've taken the Shadowrun system and run modern day heist games.
That's
with it.
basically you're just running modern D20 at that point.
No, I wouldn't do D20 because D20 again is kind of like part of the joy
Just-
of playing
just for
D20
skills
is
is-
XP
yeah, though.
and building up.
Okay.
I think Shadowrun skills are way better
Okay.
because Shadowrun allows you to specialize in each of those roles and build out 11 interesting characters.
Yeah.
with
See,
something
I
new.
I didn't cut my teeth on Shadowrun. I mean, there was a little bit of playing Shadowrun for me growing up, but
It's a
not
really
a lot.
fun game. Shadowrun, send us stuff.
I think if you are the type of group that wants to go through the extreme minutiae of putting together a heist, taking your bankroll, going against the list of gear, making the connections, calling
Honestly,
the
that
people
is
to buy
something
the
I
thing.
enjoy.
That would be fun. That would
As
be
a GM,
fun.
I've run those games. Those games that are like, all right, we just spent 4 full sessions doing nothing but buying stuff from contacts. I'm like, that's right. We got 2 more coming. This is Shadowrun, motherfucker.
Yeah, I mean, there are times when you're in a game like that as the GM, you can be like, you guys are gonna talk. I'm gonna go watch a movie. So
Yeah.
you need to, and just every once in a while, if you have a question,
Come
I'll
find me.
pause
Yeah.
it.
I, as a GM, I like being there.
No, I know you
Like,
do. I
I'm
know,
like,
and
let
I
me
think
see
we
those
all
maps.
do. I think we all do. But there are some times where you're just like, okay, you guys are gonna have a lot of planning that you got to do. Come and tap me on the shoulder when you need something answered.
Yeah, I could do this in Shadowrun, but I wouldn't want to these days. I don't have the time for it anymore.
See, I would, without
Yeah.
knowing that leverage the game was. I mean, I knew cursory was out there off to the side, but I would have, if I were sitting in your position, or if our roles were reversed, I would have run modern D20. That's what I would have put in this. But I have an affinity for modern D20, and I like it, and it's a good system. And one of the things I really like about doing this with the two of you and with you as the game guy, I cut my teeth on Vampire, on Star Wars WEG, and then just the original D&D, and then Second Ed, and so on and so forth. You are introducing to a lot of other games that I would have never even given a second thought to. So that's awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome.
You know the high shelves well.
Yeah.
Like the shelves where, what's that? What's that?
Not
What's
just
that
the
up
high
there?
shelves, but the bins as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, but
There's
you
the dollar bins.
You don't go to the well, so to say, like the well drinks very often. You go to the better stuff.
Well, it depends. I've had some worse than well. I've drank some. I've drank some plastic bottle vodka because it was all I had. I'm just
There's
gonna not bring those to this.
Yeah.
yeah.
And that's good.
All right. So what was the name of that again?
Leverage,
Leverage.
a
So,
fantastic television show on Netflix. You should all watch it.
Netflix, give us money. I'm just continuing the precedent you've set for tonight.
Netflix has its own problems right now.
Oh, this is true.
So that was Ocean's 11, and Leverage was the game.
Yeah, and I think that was good stuff.
I think that wraps it. All right, everyone. Thanks for listening in. I was Matthew,
And I'm Dusty.
And I'm Nathanael.
and we'll see you next week.
Thanks for listening to another episode of our show. We're a new name in the enormous sea of podcasts and appreciate any feedback that you can send our way. If you like what you've heard, or even if you didn't, please leave us a review and let us know. Got a movie or a game that you want to hear us talk about? Drop us a comment on our website at havemovieswillgame.com or hit us up on any of the usual social networks. We'd love to hear from you. The opening theme music is Rock and Gravel by Sid Valentine's Patent Leather Kids, part of the public domain and found on publicdomain4u.com. Opening narration is provided by Isaac Sher. Have Movies Will Game is distributed under Creative Commons Attribution, Non-Commercial, No Derivatives. Thanks for listening, and we'll catch you again next week.